Alright, A tier. I've been excited for this one, and let's just immediately start with the bottom of it, with Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So, this show isn't always, like, a home run hit, and it can also just probably come off as, like, pointless and dumb at times. However, you can't deny just how much of a fucking staple classic it is. Like, it absolutely has that power. Like, this is, like, the Adult Swim show. It at least was the Adult Swim show. And I've been watching it since it, like, premiered, basically. And this is something that still, like, all of my friends like to talk about and reminisce about. And honestly, that just makes the show more funny to me when I just think about stuff like Santa Claus has barbecue sauce in the drawer with them. And next is Super Milk-chan. And this is really up this far just because of, like, again, like, talking about it with, like, my friends today. Like, this is, like, the main reason for a lot of these shows. And just a quick disclaimer, there unfortunately is some stuff in here that can probably come off as dated regarding trans people, but I don't really know what the intent was behind the creator when writing it. It's not like the most overly offensive stuff, and again, I don't know what their thought process was or how their actual views on it are, but once you get past that, fortunately, the rest here is absolute gold. Oh yeah, and Milk-chan drooling can be a bit gross. But anyway, aside from that, the writing is really dumb, but really funny. It's just perfect for Adult Swim. This isn't a gag dub, by the way. Like, it's completely straight. It was exactly like this in Japanese, too. And just, like, the plots and stuff are really funny. Just, like, I mean, it won't sound funny unless if you, like, watch it yourself. But just, like, explaining to you, like, a guy obsessed with Belgian waffles and a plot where the president, like, accidentally launches, like, a missile onto their own country, and the whole plot's just him, like, trying to inform Milk-chan about that, but they just get distracted by stupid shit on the phone. Next is Samurai Jack, and it's fucking Samurai Jack. Like, everybody's always fucking loved this show since it aired on Cartoon Network. I've always been fond of it. My friends are fond of it. I've seen it, and, yeah, they're fond of me, McClanky Jack, and again, just like, what more can I say about it? Space Ghost Coast to Coast. This is fucking, like, nostalgia, especially, like, latter 90s nostalgia encapsulated, and I feel like that's why it just hits so hard and gets on here. Like, just looking at it reminds me of, like, fucking old places, like Media Play and arcades and shit, and just the overall vibe and stack of, like, fucking technology and shit then, and aside from that, it is really funny in the interview process of how they just put the celebrities in a dark room and have, like, Space Ghost, like, ask, like, nonsensical questions and just mix up their responses to make them seem insane is funny, and it's also just, like, kind of why we have Adult Swim. Like, the show premiered on Cartoon Network long before Adult Swim did, and it kicked off the whole reusing Hanna-Barbera stuffs and all of the classics that we know Adult Swim for, and the rest is history. Metalocalypse. So this is not the best show, but just something about it compels me to put it in A tier. And yeah, I mean, just something about this show just makes me think, like, prime Adult Swim. Just, like, the fucking, like, art style of it and the ridiculous plots and characters. Again, just fucking prime Adult Swim. Just that absolute golden age, like, middle 2000s era of it. I feel like this is the height of it, aside from one other show maybe that's above this in A tier. That's not an anime. Paranoia Ancient. So this is something that you can't really talk about per se. It's just more so, like, you have to tell people to just go see it for themselves to really experience it, and again, also, like, fucking, like, spoilers and shit, you know? But yeah, this series is just absolute fucking great. Take my word for it. It will stick with you. And also just make sure you pace your time right while watching it. But aside from that, great fucking series. And it's made by the same person who did Paprika and Perfect Blue. So yeah. Samurai Champloo. And this is another one where it's just like, what can I fucking say? This series is awesome. It's cool. That's the most I can tell you about it. Like, go check it out for yourself if you're all curious. The bumpers were fucking cool. And again, just like the main reason why it's this up high in A tier is just because I still enjoy talking about this with my friends and shit today, and the series itself is just like an absolute fucking hit. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And like other entries I've been saying, it's like, what the fuck can I tell you? It's fucking Fullmetal Alchemist. Like, this fucking series is fantastic, and again, that's just all I can say. It's just a fucking fantastic series, and my friends still love it to this day, and you just have to go fucking see it for yourself. The Boondocks. I've been waiting for this one. So let me put here, The Boondocks is like the most hit or miss show ever for me. Maybe not necessarily like in episodes, but just scenes. Like there'll be stuff in an episode I really like, but then other stuff that I just find like annoying or unfunny or over the top or stupid. But despite all of that, I just can't help but fucking put it in A tier. In fact, it's almost a possible contender for S tier for me. There's just something about this show that just fucking, like I sort of said about Space Ghost, this show just encapsulates for me what it was like during the mid-2000s and like pop culture and fucking like technology and all that shit during that time. And I guess 2010 if you're season 3. Disregard 4 for this, that doesn't exist. But yeah, that and like with Black Dynamite, the fucking art style on this show just fucking home run. It's fucking awesome. I love looking at this show. It's probably part of why it just captures that time period so much for me and makes it so much fun to watch. And again, like even the missed moments, like I always can like more clearly point out as I get older or just aren't as frequent. Like certain scenes in the show do get more funny as I like get older. Probably not even stuff that you think of. I'm more so just thinking of stuff like Granddad fucking sneaking in like a pot roast and mashed potatoes into the theater and Jasmine freaking out over it and Grandpa having to like quiet her. She like cries about it and she sees like the fucking like don't pirate movies disclaimer and they go like over the top of having this like fucking guy like punching an old lady with like blood flying off her and then taking out a gun and shooting her. She's like already down and mugged and they're like, it's the equivalent of stealing from an old lady. And then the gun scene plays and murder. But yeah, just fucking a great show when it is good. I'm also fucking thinking of like the chocolate bar episode shit now. But yeah, absolutely fucking great. One of their best. Yu Yu Hakusho. This, just a glance of this makes me so fucking nostalgic for the late 90s and like, I guess also like just the year 2000. And yeah, it kind of reminds me of Sailor Moon almost in that regard. And again, like, I still just fucking love reminiscing about this with, like, my friend today, and it's super nostalgic, and just in general, this is a fucking great series, and, like, just for that personal, like, attachment and fondness, it goes up this high in A tier. And likewise, Inuyasha's up here for similar reasons. Again, just a lot of fucking nostalgia for this, so much fun watching it, even one of my counselors was a fan of the show, which is funny, and, yeah, just so many memories, and just like fucking like just peak like accidentally just like finding this in the middle of the night type of shit on Adult Swim and just thinking it's really fucking cool whatever you're saying. Futurama, here we are at the top 3 of A now. And yeah, we've all fucking seen Futurama, what can I say about it? And I made an iceberg of it even. This is probably mostly just like the original run episodes I like. There are a few episodes and stuff of the revival seasons I do like. And I also just like the overall kind of like mood of the revival seasons, like kind of like the atmosphere of it. It's very early 2010s, like 2011 feels like the good part of the year. But also a lot of it I just find to be like really fucking stupid or annoying. But aside from that, the original run is also just really good and doesn't have that problem as much. And like, if you somehow haven't fucking watched Futurama yet, you probably just should, because there's way too many fucking just funny moments to list. Like, so much stuff is here is just subtly really stupid, and just, like, hard to explain why it's so fucking funny, unless if you see the episode, just has really good writing that way that feels supernatural. And you guys know, I made an iceberg chart for this series, so, yeah. Cowboy Bebop. What can I say? It's fucking Cowboy Bebop, like, again, like, all of my friends still are fucking super fond of this show, and I enjoyed it when I first saw it. I still think about it a lot. It's fucking Cowboy Bebop. Just go check it out. Alright, now at the top of A tier, Venture Brothers. And like some of the previous shows I mentioned here, like Boondocks and Metalocalypse, just the fucking tone and vibe of the show just captures peak Adult Swim for me. Just instantly, like, boom, you look at it and you just fucking love it. It's just so good to look at, and It has great fucking characters and this like actually kind of like fun long running plot that manages to be good despite being like parody and super dumb a lot of the time, like dumb in a good way. And again, I just fucking love how this show looks, and something about it's just like super nostalgic and comforting to me. And I haven't even seen all of this series at all, but I still just fucking love what I've seen. It's been forever since I watched 2, and I kind of feel bad. Maybe I should just find a random episode to see on them. And yeah, just like fucking like the characters are just so iconic. Like even people who haven't watched Adult Swim might actually recognize like the Monarch or like especially Brock Sampson. Like just something about Brock in particular, despite like looking like a typical buff dude, just very recognizable and shit. I actually remember thinking he was the main character when I first saw this show like way back. But yeah, that just barely misses S tier. Well, maybe not really, because S tier kind of has like a wider gap, but yeah, it's the very top of A tier. And next time we're gonna do S tier, which is the best of the best in my opinion. So see you then.